coming in hot gamboos. Hefei, Shanghai, and Sanya. You know, in the kindergarten, I used to have like time to go on my phone during the day. I used to have 2 hours to nap. Lapcon. But I'm happy for you. Oh! Ijebe. Mitungisa. Ay, Kathleen, guys, I just arrived. I would advise you to start doing do interviews. Like, start setting up some interviews, even though you're still studying. Set up some interviews and see what people are saying, what questions they're asking. To 14K. Welcome back to another video. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be shooting this video because I love doing Q&As. Welcome back to another video. I'm Sbahle Mkhize and this is my channel. If you are a regular digula, a regular liker, a regular sharer, honey, thank you so much for coming back once again, baby. And if you are new here today, welcome to the channel. Oh my gosh, so many new people, so many new comments. I love it. Thank you for joining the family. Make sure that you click that subscribe button if you haven't already so that you can join the regular regulars. Okay, we are on the road to 14K. Okay, guys, we are going to be so close to 15K thereafter. I know it. I can feel it in my spirit. Thank you so much, my loves. Let's continue to grow upwards and onwards we go. Okay, loves, so today's video, as you guys can see, we're coming in hot. Okay, look at your girl. Like, I decided it's a Sunday. I decided to beat my face, put on one of my favorite jumpsuits. It's freezing out, but it's warm in the house, so I thought, why not? And I'm rocking my Sbahle earrings from Ndoni Dare to Dazzles. Ndoni Dare to Dazzle, that's what it's called. Anyway, so this is actually a brand that I absolutely love, by a friend. It's black owned, woman owned, and she sells earrings and other jewelry, and she actually custom named these Sbahle. So I will leave everything on the screen if you guys are interested. She is in China and she sells in South Africa, and their jewelry is really gorgeous, affordable, and just really good quality. So I absolutely love that. So these are my Sbahle earrings, and I've been rocking Ndoni earrings ever since. So yeah, just a plug if you're interested. So anyway, today, my loves, we are doing a story time. Bible. We are doing a Q&A. Dead. We are not doing a story time. No story time. Anyway, so we coming in hot gamboos. Guys, how amazing is Mass Country? If you're in South Africa and you love AKA as much as I do, which one is your favorite song? I love Mbuzi and of course Lemon and Lemonade. Lemon to Lemonade and last time. Oh gosh, guys, my heart breaks. Anyway, let's carry on. Let's not be somber because we are celebrating, and his music is amazing, guys. That album is a masterpiece. Okay, it's a beautiful body of work. So let's do this Q&A. So I asked you guys for some questions and you guys came through as per usual, making sure that we get to know each other better. And I love doing these. I know you guys love it when I sit down and chat, so I decided to get on the couch. I love this new angle in the house. I'm gonna shoot more of my sit downs here. But yeah, let's get going. So the first question is, I'm just gonna go down. I didn't actually go through them, just gonna go at it. How often can you go to SA as discussed on the contract excluding COVID influence? So excluding COVID, we would have been able to go home at least twice a year because we've got 2 major holidays. But now COVID happened, obviously that wasn't the case. But now that we're back to normal a bit, we are able to travel back now twice a year due to those big holidays that we have in August and in January. So I'm definitely going to be going home this year. Really excited. When was the last time you went to SA and how often are you able to go home? Okay, so I pretty much answered that this question in the first one, and I'm going to be going home this year, and I will go again next year same time because I want my sister to come to China in January. So please lift her up in prayer, guys, that she gets her passport, visa and everything, so she comes to see China and she like explores and like we do stuff together, and it's going to be amazing. Like, I pray that it happens. Anyway, so yeah, in your opinion, how much would you say a first-time ESL teacher should accept in 2023? Congratulations on 13K subs. Thank you so much, my love. So this is a great question. I've been getting a lot of these questions in my DMs as well, and I've been answering it elsewhere and not on YouTube. So I decided, let me just answer it now, and hopefully the people that DM me will get this. But the answer to this question is accept over 13k. And when I say accept it, but also be like, I'm gonna watch you guys, because one, a lot of these schools are lowering their salaries and are getting people to pay for their own flights, which I think is ridiculous, because they know how desperate people are. So my recommendation, something I would do, is take the offers just so that I get to China. And once here, it's so easy to change jobs, and it's so easy to get a better job and negotiate a higher salary. And obviously, because now we've been here for a long time, they know that we know how to get around it, how to negotiate, and how to pick up when a school is, trying to deka you. You know what I mean? So my advice would be to take the offer over 13k, definitely, not below, because then when it gets taxed, it's gonna get lower, and it depends on where you live. Obviously, if you're living in a big city like Beijing, don't take 10,000, because you're not gonna be able to survive. Rent in Beijing for most apartments is like 5k, and then you've got food and you need to save. So be aware as well to what city you're going to, what tier city it is, and what are the cost of living prices there. So I would recommend something over 13k, but also not to be too pushy about it. Just get here, and from there you can connect with what are these people, agents, and they really can help you switch jobs like this, help you with paperwork. So yeah, that would be my advice. Hello Sbahle, how are you doing? My question is, what are the top 3 best cities in China? Oh my goodness, I do not have enough knowledge to answer that question. I haven't traveled to most cities in China, but when I look at the country or the cities that I've been to, top 3 has to be Sanya, Shanghai, and the third one is tough. Let's see. Sanya, Shanghai. And you know what? I really loved Hefei. Like, I feel like Hefei is very underrated. I enjoyed Hefei so much. I enjoyed the people there. I enjoyed doing stuff there. It was just like such a gorgeous city. I loved it. So those were the top 3. Hefei, Shanghai, and Sanya. All right. Are you still providing those consultation services? I have been trying to get through to you. Thank you so much for calling me out on this, because I have not been replying to emails, guys, because I honestly do not have, I don't want to take too much on at the moment. I am not doing it at the moment, mainly because I'm trying to get used to my workload. It's actually quite crazy how it's like a big change from kindergarten. And obviously, like, this is not an excuse, but I think I have to be aware that if I want to be my best self, so I just want to get comfortable. If I want to do the best and consult at my best, I really need to make sure that I have everything, on my plate. I can handle everything on my plate. So I haven't been consulting, and I also feel like right now, this is the best time to be consulting, because people can actually get into China now on work visas. And I think when the time is right, I will start again. But if you have questions, you can definitely leave them in the comment section. And I'm sure myself and other people that are well informed, I love that you guys also engage in the comments and help other people share information, which is really, really great. So please do continue doing that, because I'm one person. I can't help everyone. And I just hope that we don't gatekeep information and we share as much as possible. The podcast, how often are we gonna get content? Summerwell every day. Podcast is not gonna be every day, guys. I haven't shot also in a while, but I'm gonna start shooting again. I'm trying to do at least 1 episode every 2 weeks and then see how I pick up, but I'm also aware that that also takes time, and I'm trying to be smart about it and shoot as much content on a day so that I can push it out at different schedules. But thank you so much for like the excitement and like just surrounding the podcast. I need to get on it. Like, I've got so many things to do for you guys, but I'm really excited, and I'm gonna do it when I'm ready, when I have everything that I need in terms of what I'm gonna talk about. So yeah, look out for that very, very soon. Okay, next question. What is the most difficult thing about being in China, or most challenging thing? Definitely family. Like, miss my family, miss my sister. the homesickness does get really, really tough. I would say that's one of the challenging things. Outside of that, like just living in China and the people in China making it challenging for us to live here, I wouldn't say there's anything that I haven't mentioned before. I just moved to Wuxi, and the amount of times people have taken pictures of me and racism, I have not seen as much. I think I'm also getting very immune to it, and I'm like, you know, I don't let it affect me as much. But yeah, to answer your question, one of the most challenging things is homesickness and missing my family, missing my sister, and yeah, my friends back in SA. Like, it's really, really tough, but you move and you keep it going, you keep it flowing like the water. Okay, hey beautiful, you haven't really been on Instagram lately. What's keeping you so busy? How am I, guys? Inganzam is an international school. Honestly, guys, I literally come back from home every day exhausted. Like, I work out, I come back, I eat, I sleep, a few video calls, go to bed, repeat. Like, it's like umzimba wam usajwayele. And you know, in the kindergarten, I used to have like time to go on my phone during the day. I used to have 2 hours to nap. Like every time I'm in the school and I like the different activities that we have, like I went to a school similar to this, like both my primary school and my high school. So given a flashback, this is basically my schooling life. And I was like, the teachers in my like school back then also was super like busy. Like there was always something. I never used to see them on their phones, if I'm being quite honest. And like schooling right now, like every day, you know, we've got our classes and then there's different activities in between, and then I'm like coaching basketball on Fridays to the little kids, grade 1 and grade 2s, and I can't vlog a thing. Like I wish I could show you guys what my day looks like, but I can't because I'm not allowed to vlog. I'm 17. So it's just like a lot is keeping me busy, but I'm also enjoying being present. I think it's very important so that I can also, you know, find my feet and be, you know, make my mark as well, and have all my attention on that. I think my YouTube channel is definitely something that I'm taking as it's in seasons. Like there are seasons where I'm going to be super consistent and super hands on deck with it, and then it's going to be another season where it takes a little bit of backseat because somewhere another area in my life needs a lot of attention. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why. All right, so the next question: would you ever move back home permanently? No, not anytime soon. Not in my 30s, not in my 40s, maybe in my 50s. Yeah, that's the best way I can answer that question. Random question, but where did you meet Bay? I didn't meet Bay like face to face for the first time. We met on Instagram in the DMs. Hi, do you plan to visit SA soon? Yes, I do, very, very soon this year. Hey Sba, when are you graduating from Moreland? Are you planning to having a grad party? Yes, guys, so wish to have a grad party. But anyway, I graduated, I finished my teaching license, so now I'm trying to get my master's done. I haven't registered yet, kuningi, but I will definitely have a party when I graduate with my master's. I might do it at home, I might do it in China, I don't know, but as of now I haven't decided yet, but I have gotten my teaching license and my teaching preparation program certificates. So yeah. Hi Bosba, I don't know ukuthi unentshebe, but I'm happy for you. Oh, Itshebe. Yes, my doll, I have a man now. When do we get to see him? Get to see him where? People who watch my vlogs have seen glimpses. So when I ask them, you regular if you haven't seen different sides of him already. Would you consider sponsoring financially assisting a new graduate to move abroad? Definitely, if I had the resources and the funding, I would. I think that would be amazing, but at this moment in time I wouldn't be able to afford to do that, but it would be something I would consider, definitely. How do you keep your head up regarding mental health? Because I'm 25 and I feel stuck in life. This is a great question. I think firstly, I remember at 25 25, I thought the world and the pressures of the world were all on my shoulders. I thought, if I don't make a move, everything in the world around me is going to collapse. I really did overthink things. And the best advice I would give you regarding feeling stuck is don't overthink things. Sometimes just doing one thing is enough. Don't feel like you have to do 10 things to be a super productive, successful person. I think there's strength in knowing there's strength in knowing your strengths and knowing or there's power in knowing your strengths, because then you focus on that and you do that at your best and everything else will fall into place. And how I keep my head up is that, like, I know that there's areas of my life that I need to improve. There's so many things that I want to achieve, but I can't if I keep thinking about where I'm falling short, obviously my mindset and my mental health is going to be in the gutter. So I constantly try to remain positive about things, and I always try to focus in on one thing and do that thing well. And at this time of my life right now, it's my job. I'm trying to do that really well, and I know that that's going to build my confidence. That's going to make me feel and around me, people are going to see that I'm a really good teacher because I put in the work. So yeah, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. It's going to get worse and worse as you get older, but I pray that you learn the skills now to handle all those things, so that when you get to your 30s, you're not phased by it. It's just a part of life, and you just kind of learn to pick your battles, you know what I mean, and pick the things that really matter to you, and the rest will come. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Anyway, so would you please share the name of the company that you recommend for doing your TEFL? So I did my TEFL with Eye2Eye. I also recommend Be TEFL. I'll put both their logos and information on the screen for you guys. Okay, next question. Hey Sba, I love your content. Thank you, my doll. Thank you, my dear. Would a person who is more introverted make it in China? Definitely. I think there are all types of people here in China, and people find their people, and there's no need, I'm not an introverted person. It doesn't mean like there are only introverted people in China. There are so many people that you guys don't see on this channel, people that you don't engage with on Instagram because they don't have Instagram, and they live quiet lives here in China. And you are definitely someone who could do that and could live and thrive, so please don't be discouraged to think that because I show you guys my life, that's how your life should be when you get here. No, people live very good, thriving lives in a very quiet bubble, and they are happy, you know what I mean? So yeah, definitely I think yes, you would be able to, but you'd also need to be a little bit aware that you'd have to come out of your comfort zone a bit to meet new people, because you can't stay too much in a bubble, because there's not a lot of people who look like you here. There's not a lot of people that speak your language, so you have to find your people. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, okay, thanks for the info and letting us be part of your expat experience. Oh, that's not a question, that's like a little thank you. That means a lot. Thank you so much. We've been going through this together for 2 years now, since 2020. When did I start this channel? 2020. 3 years. Hi guys. Yeah. Oh my gosh, because I started this channel in 2020, 2021, 2022, almost 3 years going through this together. Love it. One piece of advice to someone planning on moving to China. Let me not give the obvious about money, things like, you guys know what you guys need to do. I think the same advice I gave that earlier question, Uti. Be ready to get out of your comfort zone a little, to meet new people so that you can find your people. And understand that here, no one speaks your language. You don't see people who look like you. You don't walk into a taxi and make small talk with people on the train. Like, ubuntu, ubuntu. And I think as African people, we thrive on ubuntu. Our days are better because of ubuntu. Here, you make your own ubuntu and you find your own people, and you literally have to be finding your own pockets of joy, because it's so rare to find kind people like back at home. And be ready for that. That was one of the things that really took me hard, hit me hard, I mean. But because my personality allowed me to get out and meet people, I was fine. But I want to encourage anyone who's moving to be aware of that in as much as it's going to be you finding a new job and teaching, but also there's going to be a lot that's going to take a toll on you, and you just need to kind of prepare yourself for that. All right. Does China tax expats Heavily? No, not heavily. It's not bad. Best city to live in. I think on your first year, it depends on the kind of person that you are, but I would recommend a middle tiered city. So tier 2 or 3 to start, and then once you find your feet, you can move to a bigger city like Beijing or Shanghai. So start off in like Wuxi or Hefei or Nanjing. Well, Nanjing is also tier 1, so not Nanjing, Hangzhou there, and then like move to the bigger ones when you're ready. All right, are you happy? Love you a lot, Mtase. Love you loads, Kesanalam. I'm definitely happy. I experience happiness in like waves, which I think is normal because all feelings are welcomed here in my spirit. I love that I've been experiencing happiness more and in larger chunks, which feels amazing. And I wouldn't be honest if I'd be lying to myself if I didn't tell you guys that there are days where I experience sadness, loneliness, laziness, and then I experience happiness. And the happiness I'm experiencing right now though is a lot, and it's like in big chunks, and it takes over that in such a way that when I am feeling sad, I remember that happiness and it like comes back in floods again. So I think that's a really good place to be in. So happiness is not a rare feeling, like it's like something that happens often. So yeah, I'm very happy. Thank you so much. Love you loads too. Is it costly to move abroad? Definitely I would say yes, it is, but at the same time, if you plan it well, where you save some money, you communicate with your school where you're gonna need support, it definitely can be a good transition. It takes time to get on your feet, but the bigger picture here is that you are abroad, there are more opportunities, more money to make, and your mind gets open. So I think that outweighs the costs and the other cons excuse me, and the other cons of living abroad. Next question. How do you work around finances, saving, investing, providing, and helping? Living abroad. Okay, so this is a living abroad question. So I've definitely had also my highs and lows when it comes to finances. I'm now starting to feel like I'm finding my feet, especially with saving consistently. But I do save money consistently, and this year I've started this stokfela, so that's what I'm going to be doing. But with the helping, the major people that I support in my life is my sister, and so we have like a system that we have for each other, and that has been working for the past 3 years. So and then everything else that I do, and like everything for myself, and yeah, so basically that's what I do. Investing is something that I'm still not very knowledgeable about. I'm trying to learn as much about it, but I know that one thing about finances is that it doesn't all have to happen at once. Right now, my goal this year is to save a specific amount, and then next year is going to be to buy property and so there's like a plan, and I think eventually investing is definitely going to be on the next thing to do. All right, no question. I'm just obsessed with your content. Love you, Sba. Love you so much, Mpo. Okay, guys, the next question, my battery died, so I had to change it up, but we're back. Okay, next question is, hey, Sba, what books are you currently reading? So I'm currently reading Michelle Obama's The Light We Carry, but I'll be quite honest, guys, I'm not a thorough reader, like in terms of like I read books all the time, but I do want to try get better this year. Like many of us want to improve a lot of things this year, so I'm trying to finish that book, but I am really enjoying it. Yeah, I also love to listen to books. Like I'm a huge podcast listener, book audio listener, so like I prefer that, but I really want to go back to the fundamentals. And actually my school has a really good library, so I actually want to utilize that and use it as much as possible for finding books and reading books. All right, so what are some of the challenges you face in a workplace as a Black South African woman? Definitely, I would say just like having a voice and a space that is very much male dominated or white people dominated. It's very tough. It can be very tough for our voices to be heard. A lot of what we do requires us to kind of just look look down and get on with your work. But I found that it really does also depend on the school. The school that I'm at right now, I do feel like I have more of a voice. I do feel like my work must do the talking for me, and once that, I feel like I will earn a lot of the respect that I think we all should have. But I think it's just one of the things as an adult where you have to navigate and collaborate and work with people and kind of do less talking and more let your actions do the talking for you, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's that. And I would say just like dealing with in my workplace, in my type of work, we obviously deal with parents who don't know a lot about people who look like me. So there's a lot of prejudice and a lot of assumptions that are made that get trickled down to the kids, and then the kids repeat what the parents say. So when they say it, you understand that this is not coming from the child, this is coming from the parent. And so you have to kind of not take it to heart. A lot of things that I've heard, someone else might just be like, yo, I'm done, I'm quitting, I'm leaving. But you really need to be resilient and have a very thick skin when you work in a country like this. So yeah, those are the two major things I would say. Okay, how have you been navigating the long distance and newly formed friendships? Oh, this is such a great question. So with the long distance, I'm assuming you're saying relationship. It's really tough. Like, I mean, we have to make actual intentional actions to see each other. We make sure that we plan the things we do. It's not as spontaneous because we're not very close to each other. So a lot of the stuff that we do is curated, and we really sit down and think about what we're going to do so that we are maximizing on the time together, which I think is really great. But I obviously would love to have him closer, but I understand that we both have careers and we both have things in our own cities, and so right now this is what has to happen. But yeah, we've been doing fine. I think also with friendships, it's the same thing with my friends. We definitely don't do things like kancane, like you guys see in my vlogs. Everything that we do, we try to make an actual effort to plan and do things special together so that we maximize on time. We check up on each other quite often. We have groups, video calls and things like that. So that's really awesome. But yeah, one of the reasons why I decided to stay in Jiangsu was because I really felt like I'd formed some really good friendships, and I didn't want to leave that, because then if the further I moved away, it would have been more difficult to maintain. So the fact that I'm still in Jiangsu, and Jiangsu is also the same province where Nanjing is and Suzhou is, so most of my friends, and then Ningbo's not as far, so people can come into town and we can all see each other. Must we Tungisa? Guys, we literally, I just arrived. How is love treating you that side? It's treating me really well. It's treating me really well. We obviously have our ups and downs, guys. This is not roses and petals and butterflies. But what I like about us is that we are willing to put in the work, and you know, where needed, we roll our sleeves up and we talk about it. You know what I mean? So yeah. Hi, how do you handle your finances? Being young and living in a foreign country when you come. I think I got the danga, but I do handle my finances, I think, pretty well. But I also think, guys, I do make a lot of mistakes. I do have a very unhealthy sometimes relationship with money, and that is me being vulnerable and honest and hot and open and transparent with you guys. I do find myself like being like, do you need this? And I still buy it because I like it, and then later on in the month I am struggling. But I think what I like, though, this new thing that I'm doing is I'm showing myself a little bit of kindness and compassion when it comes to how I handle my finances. A lot of the time I used to bash myself. I wouldn't enjoy the things that I buy for myself because I would have guilt immediately. So now I'm being honest with myself and open and transparent with myself. I'm like, okay, you know, these are things that you like. How do we budget properly to make sure that when you do get them, you are okay to do them, you can afford it, and you enjoy them? Because it makes no sense to buy these things ungekho right and then you don't enjoy them. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of like internal work that I had to do, that I'm still doing. But I want you guys to know that it's in China, like to have those different exercises with yourself is better than to be having those exercises. Like for me, it's better that I'm having them here, because here I know that, you know, I've got a good job, a stable job, and things do recover quicker. And so as a foreigner, I know for you, like someone asking this question was wondering, like if like you're dead broke here and you don't have money, like oh my gosh, what do you do? Like it's fine. You're never in a situation where you don't have anything. Like I've got my emergency fund, I've got this and that, so like you can survive. But obviously we always strive to do better and have better savings and have better investments and do better and budget better. So it's definitely something that I feel like if I was an SA, maybe I wouldn't be able to experience some of the things that I've experienced, because maybe I wouldn't be able to earn the kind of money that I'm earning here. So yeah, but I think it definitely has its highs and lows. Next question. Excuse me guys, I keep burping this coffee. Anyway, how's life, mama? I hope you're doing good. Thank you, babe. I'm doing well. Life's good. Life's great. Very, very grateful to God for my job, for my home, for the roof over my head. Just like the people in my life. My family's healthy and well. My sister's doing so well, guys, at Vids. Hi, guys. Guning, that's really going really well for the people in my life. My friends are doing amazing. Yeah, but when I push them up business, like it's just amazing to see and be surrounded by such amazing people. All right, have you ever thought about doing your license in China or renewing it since you had one in SA? Love you. Mwah, love you too, my baby. I get in this country, my dear, you don't even need to drive. I don't need a car in this country. I don't want a car in this country. The traffic is horrendous. I'd rather do Subway and Didis. But obviously when I go back to SA, I want to be able to drive. And so when I go home, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I haven't been home since 2019 or 2020 Feb. So I have to renew my license though, because I want to be able to hire a car so I can do stuff when I'm in SA. Yeah, if anyone has more information about that, please let me know. But I will also do research about it, ask my dad or something, I don't know. But yeah, it's like it's very difficult to do everything from this side while trying to like here and do stuff, license renewal stuff for SA from this side. So all those things I'll have to deal with when I land. So yeah. All right, the next question is, how's the online therapy you mentioned you mentioned going? Would you recommend it? So the online therapy that I was doing at the time when I mentioned it to you guys was BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online service where you get to select your own therapist based on your needs, and you are basically having virtual sessions with them, and it went really well. I went to 4 sessions, and I stopped because one, I was moving and I just had a lot going on. My schedule wasn't consistent, so I didn't wanna, because of the time difference. She was in the States. And two, I felt like I was okay to carry on because she'd given me a few skills, and now I know that it's so easy to go back on because you can just cancel your subscription and carry on paying from when you want to carry on. But BetterHelp is a really good tool, I think, for people who are in foreign land, who can't find therapists in their cities or their countries, wherever they live. Definitely check it out. It really helped me. I remember at the time I was really wanting to talk to someone about some of the things that I was feeling, and I really needed a soundboard that was neutral, and so that was really great to have in my life. And yeah, I highly recommend it if you are someone who's looking to have some deep, insightful conversation with someone who's open-minded and who's gonna be like, you know, a soundboard for you, not anyone who knows you well either, because the great thing about it is that that person knows nothing about you, so it feels like you can really just keep it going without any shame, right? Because you never have to see that person in real life. I think that's one of the things I love about therapy, is that there's zero judgment. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. So BetterHelp, check it out. Your current job, can I use it in the UAE? This is the question. Have you finished your master's yet? Did the first certificate you did land you your current job? Can I use it in the UAE? That's the question. Okay, have you finished your master's? No, I haven't even registered my doll. I need to pump the brakes a bit. I'm planning to do so later on in the month. Two, did I get this job using the first certificate? Did it help me? Definitely yes. I remember in my interview I mentioned Moreland, and they were like, yes, Moreland, blah blah, because like the small end works with a lot of these international schools, so they were very much happy that I was doing the Teach Now certificate. Can I use it in the UAE? The teaching license, yes, as well as the masters, yes. Okay, Selo Unjewako. Oh my god, Selo Unjewako awusasnagi ngathi uqome mi ngathi kuqome mina. Extremely happy for you, my dear. You guys, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys. Clingy like I'm clingy. Love you guys so much. Would you ever permanent? Oh, I've already done this one. Hey baby, are you and your boyfriend in the same field of work? Yes, we are both teachers. Are cars cheaper in China? Are foreigners allowed to purchase cars? So yeah, China, I would say compared to SA, I would say the same price, if not more. And obviously because here there's electric cars and there's all this new technology. In terms of foreigners owning cars, foreigners can own cars. I think if you're a diplomat or you work for the embassies and certain jobs, certain international schools give people cars, but it's definitely possible. People also who are just students apparently can own cars. I don't know how. I know if you're married to a Chinese person, you have that authority as well to drive. So there's a lot of terms and conditions that I wouldn't know about because I'm not really into that, but I'm sure the information is on the web, and if you were interested you would find it. Okay, what would you advise a 22-year-old that wants to move in China? I'm currently doing my honors in education. Great that you're doing an honors in education. That's wonderful. I would advise you to start doing do interviews. Like start setting up some interviews, even though you're still studying. Set up some interviews and see what people are saying, what questions they're asking. The thing is about interviews, even I learned this while interviewing, is that you can kind of gauge from different schools what kind of work environment it is, what workload is required of you, so you can choose, and once hearing the different parts you can figure out what works best for you. Another thing is that when you are doing so many interviews, you prepare yourself for the interview that God is setting you up for. So practice makes perfect. I would say do as many interviews as possible. Don't wait to graduate to do interviews. Apply. You can say in your CV that you're currently studying, and they'll still want to interview you. And a lot of these schools here will wait and actually set aside that time for you, so because they know that you've got an honors in education. So yeah, that's the best advice I would give. Okay, next question. Are you planning on working overseas until you retire? Love you loads. That's a great question. I have not thought that far. I think I'm waiting on God to show me what he wants me what he wants my next move to be. I'm also aware that I love working abroad and I want to work in other countries, so I pray that he aligns that to whatever he wants me to do, Lord, please. But yeah, I would love to work abroad as long as possible. So yeah. All right, can I come? Hey babe, can I come to China with my degree in teaching and do my master's honors there? Definitely, my doll. You can learn, you can study abroad, you can study virtually from anywhere in the world, and I think definitely come to China and figure it out when you get here, because many of these schools also offer funding for you to study depending on what kind of school it is. I would highly recommend you find an international school, because this is where everything is going now for expats. So yeah. How long do you see yourself teaching? So I've been teaching now for 4 years, almost 5. But I would say I've been teaching now, like really right now, guys. I mean, right now I'm teaching kids how to write, persuasive writing, English language arts. We're doing, geography. That's how I feel like I am equipping the leaders of the future. Okay, not that I feel like kindergarten was. I feel like still in kindergarten it was very much. I took it very seriously. So I feel like the next 3 years are gonna be me really solidifying my teaching and my teaching career, and I think I want to do that for the next 3 to 5 years. And then from there I also want to take my content creation seriously a little bit more and integrate that a bit with what I do. So yeah, let's see how that will look. Are you still going to therapy? What are your thoughts on mental health? So like I said in the previous question, I haven't been on BetterHelp since December, so now we are approaching March, so I need to once I feel like I'm stable a little bit with my finances. I mean, the last time I got paid was in January, because when you move jobs here in China, there is going to be a month where you don't get a salary, obviously because the new job is still helping with your paperwork and you've put in notice in the previous job. So I have to kind of navigate that, and obviously at the time, I don't know if I shared with you guys, but they kind of stopped schools immediately because of the COVID outbreak, so we literally didn't even get paid full pay. But anyway, we moved and I was fine, and everything was fine. But in terms of therapy, I always want to go back when I can afford it, and I feel like now I can go back because I can afford it. So yeah, I'm gonna go back next month. I'm trying to figure out my schedule, because like I said, you do have someone who's not on the same time as you. So yeah, I don't know if I can get the same one. That's another thing, but I'm also very open-minded about it. I love having different soundboards, different input, different people. I feel like therapists and mental health are such a useful tool for young people. We didn't have conversation with adults growing up about mental health. We weren't given a platform to share how we felt and ask questions and be vulnerable. So I love taking on that whenever I can, whenever I can afford it. And so I also want to relieve you of that pressure of trying to get therapy. If you can't afford it, there are social workers and hospitals that are free. There's different resources out there that they are available for you to speak to someone. Don't feel like it has to be therapy and it has to be BetterHelp. You know what I mean? There are hospitals, public hospitals, that have that resource for you. So yeah, what has been your most proud moment? Ooh, so far, definitely finishing my teaching license. I was very proud of myself that I did that, and it opened up a lot of doors for me, and getting recognized by Moreland and to do like a feature on their page was also really huge for me. I felt very proud of myself, and I felt like God really in that moment made sure that I left my mark in some way. And now if I go back there and say A, B, and C, I feel like I have some weight or something behind me to vouch for that. And so yeah, I really, really love that. I'm very proud of myself for that. Okay, next question. Next question. Hi, Miss Sba. Yes, darlings, I go by Miss Sba now. My kids call me Miss Sba. It's so cute. Umuhle, and I really love your personality. Kuningi. I really adore you. Thank you so much, my love. Mwah. Love you loads. How do you find transitioning from city to city every year? Yes, this is such a good question. I didn't realize that I've moved twice on this channel now, and you guys have seen me transition over, moving to a new city. I think the best thing I would say, or how I do it, is one, I've got a very what's the word, I can adjust quickly. I can accustom to new situations quickly. I'm a quick learner, so I built systems, I think, that worked well for me after the first move, and I did that again. I can let go of things very easily as well. When you're moving between cities, you have to let go of things and realize that in new cities you will find that same thing. So letting go of things, making room for new things is very important when you're moving. May it be actual resources and things in the house, furniture, clothes, and sometimes even with people. Like, I think it's okay sometimes to feel like when you're in that city, those people were your friends, but they weren't really your friends, and you don't have to take everyone with you. You met amazing people wherever you were, and it was wonderful. Now it's time for you to move on. You don't have to take them with you. So I always also have that mentality when it comes to moving, because one, I see who the true people are in my life, who continue to pour and nurture that relationship, and those who don't, it's okay. We had amazing times together, and that's one for the books, and we keep it moving. I think as an expat, you need to do that, because otherwise you will be stuck, and our time here is limited. We're not here forever. So I'm a firm believer in seeing the world and seeing China. Like, I can't live in one city for 5 years. That for me doesn't make sense. I don't have kids, I don't have a husband, I don't have responsibilities here, so why not move, pack up and leave and see the rest of China? Do you know what I mean? So I've got a very much I've got a mindset like that when it comes to moving and accustoming to new cities. All right, the next question. Okay, these are the last questions. Let's go. How was your Valentine's Day? It was really nice, my babe. Like, we obviously aren't in the same city, so we didn't celebrate actual Valentine's Day together, but he still made sure that I had a really special one. Yeah, it was really, really sweet. It felt really nice to spend Valentine's Day with someone I actually love, you know. So yeah, that was really, really amazing. Yeah, I've answered everyone's question. All right, my loves, so those are all the questions in the Q&A today. The first Q&A of 2023, my dolls. Thank you so much for coming through with really amazing questions. I really enjoyed chatting and catching up with you guys. Miss Ba is in her Miss Ba era, so I unfortunately won't be vlogging as much with my school, but I do want to do a lot of sit-down content this year, so definitely look out for that. Also, let me know any other content you guys want to see on this channel. I love hearing your ideas. But yeah, and thank you so much for the lovely feedback from the date night vlog. You guys enjoyed it. You guys saw how much of a gone girl I am. So I just arrived in Mjoloville, so please, okay? But yeah, I love you guys so much. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. We are on the road to 14K. Love you loads. I will see you guys in the next video.